how did I come into doing the talk? So this was, I really think, a bit serendipitous or even lucky, just kind of a right place, right time type of thing. I was here in my apartment, and I moved here in May of last year. I live in Bintan district in Ho Chi Minh, so I live in the Win Ngoc Phuong area. My pronunciation is terrible, sorry about that. But I was just in my apartment and I was working, and I heard a knock on my door, which was a bit strange because this apartment complex has a security guard downstairs, there's a code to get into the building, and it's not a big building, so you just don't expect to have a knock on my door. And I almost didn't get it because I really didn't want to be bothered at that time, but I answered the door, and it was my next door neighbor, Pierre. And I hadn't met Pierre before. So I thought, oh, he came over to introduce himself. Maybe he's I'm the new neighbor, so he came over. He's a Belgium photographer, and he was living in Ho Chi Minh for about a month or two just to do some photography work. He works in the darkroom, and really, really great artist and photographer. So it was really cool, and I thought, oh wow, he's welcoming me. This is great. And once he told me he was a photographer, I got all excited, and I said, oh, let me show you some of my work. And I've been doing a lot of this lightning photography out on my balcony, so I was really excited to show him that. And he interrupted me and he said, Matt, I'm so sorry, but I have to ask you, I'm in a bit of a rush. Do you have any toilet paper? And I said, apparently he had just come over to try and get toilet paper because he ran out and the cleaning lady had not given him more, so he was in a rush because the next night he had a photography show at one of the co-working spaces here. So I said, oh, no problem, of course. I gave him some toilet paper, and he said, you should come to the show. And I said, sure, that'd be great. I was pretty excited to get into, the art and photography scene here in Ho Chi Minh. So I went. So the next night, went to the show, and it was great. He had a whole series of his work displayed all around the co-working space, and then he gave an art talk in front of probably maybe 50, 70 people, something like that. But when I was at the snack table, I met a girl. Her name was Josie. She's a British woman who works here. She's an artist, and she teaches art school here to kids. And so that was pretty cool meeting her. And then, there was another girl there, and she was a local Vietnamese girl who's a University of Architecture student. And we were all chatting, and it turns out that Josie was set to do an art talk in the same co-working space a month after Pierre. So yeah, we all started talking, and she said, oh, I'm a bit nervous about speaking in front of a big group like this, and I said, oh, I coach and train public speaking, so if you want any pointers, I'm happy to give them to you. And we all just chatted a little while for about what we do. So it was great, and at the end we exchanged information, and that was that. Well, cut to maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, I get a message on Facebook from someone named Nhop. And I had known one Nhop from a training workshop that I had done. And when I got the message, it was something like, hey Matt, it's Nhop. I just wanted to ask you something. It's a little bit forward, but let me know if you have time. I wanted to ask you a question. And it was a bit puzzling and kind of weird, so I was confused because I thought, oh, well, I saw her last Sunday. Why didn't she just ask me in person? And I clicked on her profile. And I realized, wait, oh, this is Nhop, the girl that I had met at Pierre's show, the University of Architecture student. And she goes by the name Sam. So I was expecting, Sam, but yeah, in Facebook she had her name and Vietnamese name, and then in parentheses she had Sam. So I realized, oh, this is her. Okay, that's really, really cool. So yeah, we talked for a little bit, and she said, yeah, we are putting together a TEDx event at University of Architecture, and I was wondering if you'd be interested in putting together a talk. So that right there, if I hadn't opened the door to answer Pierre knocking on the door, if I hadn't gone to his show, if I hadn't met people at the guacamole table, and if I hadn't put myself out there and exchanged information with both Josie and Nhop, I maybe never would have had the opportunity. So I think that just goes to show networking is key. And I know networking sounds like kind of a weird term, but just you got to put yourself out there. You have to be in it to win it. You have to go to events and try and meet people. And I'm new to this city, Ho Chi Minh. I've been here for less than a year, so I'm trying to get out there as much as possible and meet as many people. And sure enough, it ended up with me getting invited to do a TED Talk. So that is the story. Check out my next video, which is how I planned the talk, what it was like, and then the experience of actually giving it and what I learned from it. Thanks for stopping by. Please subscribe to my channel, and I promise I'll get more tips and techniques and videos about travel and public speaking for you. See ya.